Salutations, mortals, and children of the night. I am the Vampire Otaku, and this entire month is going to be dedicated to romantic mangas, romantic comedies, historical romances, etc. If it has romance as its main focal point, its main genre, I will be reading it within my collection behind me. And every time I read something, we can talk about it together. I'm so excited to talk about the first manga. It's gonna be Mysterious Girlfriend X. I've wanted to talk about this manga for so long. It's so good to me. It's so unique. It's a very healthy romance and a very strange story and very strange romance as well. But the more you read it, the more you realize that every relationship has its own quirk. It's just that theirs is just blatantly in your face versus someone's relationship where they have a ritual every Friday. They make stir fry together, or they only watch new shows together. They don't watch shows separately. Everybody has their quirks. So with that being said, let's get into it. So yeah, we're talking about Mysterious Girlfriend X, Makoto Urabe, and Tsubaki. Couple goals, they're awesome. Love their character, love their connection, love the relationship that they've cultivated with each other. As a super fanboy, I have the Blu-ray. Very nice. Love this show. I love the dub and the sub. Both are good. Both versions of the anime are highly watchable. Disclaimer, show is very weird. The manga is very weird. It's not going to be for everybody. If you can get past the first episode or the first few chapters, I think you'd love it, and I think that you'd come away with it. You come away with something. You feel something. You'll see romance in a different light. And these characters are so fleshed out. They're very likable and relatable. And Makoto Urabe is such a, how do I want to put it? She's a well-written heroine, but she's so unique. Like, she advocates for herself. She can fight really well. She's really honest with herself and other people and her feelings. In this story, she and Tsubaki get together right away. There's no will they, won't they. It's just right away. And I just love how outspoken she is, even though she's not the most talkative character. When she feels something, she's gonna let you know. And I just think that more characters should be like her in, movies and novels and manga. But at the same time, I want to gatekeep Urabe because there's no other character like her. So if there's more characters like her, she won't feel as special to me. That's my selfishness. But I also like how the characters, the art style kind of looks like they're in middle school, but they're about to graduate high school. So I love that. They're like 17, 18. So that's cool. I love the art style. I love the nuance in every character. The main character, Tsubaki, seems like he'd be a boring character, but he's really interesting and entertaining in his own right. Everybody's looking at how strange Urabe is, but Tsubaki has his own way of expressing his feelings and, being, an older teen, and how he's dealing with his emotions and his feelings and his attraction towards Urabe. It's very mature, and I wouldn't say it's for kids, but it's a very fresh way to look at the relationship dynamic. I want to show you each volume. In America, North America, we got omnibuses of this. So this is a 2-in-1. So altogether, there's 12 volumes, so we get 6 of these. The cool thing is, since these are 2-in-1s, one side is, one type of cover for the first volume, and the second side would have been the second volume if we would have got singles instead of omnibuses. Now, the scissors on the back are really cool because she fights with scissors. She's like super precise. So here's omnibus number 2. The side. I really enjoyed collecting this manga. To my shame and detriment, volume 5 was out of print for a while, for like 2 or 3 years. And I bought someone's super expensive, not best condition, volume 5 for like $100 because I love this manga so much. It's like probably number 1 or number 2 my favorite romantic novel, or manga. And the other manga that I love a lot, probably talk about in the next video. But yeah, the next volume coming up. I shamefully spent so much money on this volume. I want to say about 2 weeks later, they reprinted these, and I missed out on all that money. I learned the hard way in collecting manga to be patient and to make sure that I'm on top of these releases. This is from Vertical. So I wasn't very familiar with Vertical. Vertical does like Gundam and a few other mangas as well. I'm familiar now that I went through that. That's another story for another time. Let's talk about this manga. The romance is basically it's so weird talking about this on camera. It's so awkward, but we're gonna get through it. So they have a bond that they share through drool. And it's like a supernatural thing mixed kind of like with a light fetish, like a diet fetish or whatever. But they can feel each other's emotions. They can understand what the other is thinking. And it gets so deep and nuanced through drool. It's like, oh, your drool tastes like this. You must be anxious, or you must be sad, or I must have hurt you by what I said. There's a scene, and as silly as it sounds, like as you get immersed into the story, you feel it too. Like the main character, Tsubaki, and apologies for spoilers if you don't want spoilers. I guess this is really as far as you need to go in the video if you want to check the manga out yourself, or you dropped it because of the beginning and then you thought, this guy's explaining it nicely, maybe I'll retry it, which I hope you do. But with that being said, there's a scene in the anime and in the manga where the main character Tsubaki, he doesn't feel strongly about his ex anymore, but his ex popped up in his life again and wanted to use him for emotional labor, so to speak, and also felt a little jealous that he moved on because she knew that he liked her, but she just liked the fact that he liked her, and she was not really willing to reciprocate. And also, he never tried, so she didn't want to make the first move, which is understandable. But she has a sadistic personality where it's like, oh, I'm gonna let you want me, and I'm not gonna give you any hints that I see you. And there's some other sadistic characteristics of her personality too. But for this particular scene, Tsubaki tells Urabe, hey, how would you feel, if I hung out with my ex and we caught up for a little bit? And instead of, just blatantly saying, I wouldn't like that, or that would hurt me, or why would you want to be around that person when you have me? It was so much cooler in this story that she had him taste her drool. He started crying because that's how it would make her feel. It would make her really sad because their relationship starts off in like the first episode with him saying, hey, I like you and we should date. And then he's like, that's cool, but I want you to show me how you feel in your own personal way. Words aren't enough, which is admirable, kind of cool. So he's like, damn, I don't know what I could do, or obviously what I said isn't enough. then the light bulb goes off in his head. He's like, I kept this picture of this girl that I like. They're not even exes, by the way. They never went together. He just liked her a lot. But he kept a picture of her, kind of some creepy stuff, but he didn't do anything malicious. But it was kind of creepy to have a picture of someone in your wallet that you never actually talked to or never told how you felt. But anyway, he was like, yeah, I used to look at this picture every day and I really liked this girl, but while talking to you, this picture's useless. The memory doesn't matter. Like, you take the space of that in my mind, and to prove to you how I feel, I'm gonna rip it up right in front of you. So he just rips the picture up and it flows in the wind all dramatically, and then she's like, oh my god, that was so sweet. And then the iconic scene where she's like kind of puking up drool, that was weird, but it was more of I guess a metaphorical way, or we'll go with metaphorical. A metaphorical way of showing that she was overcome with emotions and she was almost drowning in the emotions. And that was the way that she showed that to him without telling him. There's a lot of poetic nuance in the writing. And if you dig deep enough, you'll find a lot of beauty within the weirdness. That's why you should read this manga. And that's why I'm happy to talk about it. Thank you so much for listening to the first romance video of all of February, and also Black History Month. It's lit. Take care. If you feel like it, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.